but that's okay. I'm gonna harvest my water. I'm gonna do my clean water routine, but I have something else that I'm gonna do today, so you guys can get to watch. Okay, this is how we clean our water. Why? Well, because I'm into clean water. Why? Well, because I personally believe that you cannot be super healthy without clean water. Can you be healthy? Yeah, maybe. I've seen some lucky people out there who have been fortunate enough to have good health. Well, you know what, though? Even those people have suffered eventually, but they lived a while without super clean water. It happens. Some people get luckier than others. But if you want to improve your odds, I'm kind of big on data, also kind of big on statistics. So anyway, filling up my water here to clean it completely. Now, while I do that though, let's harvest the water that I made yesterday because I leave the machine on at night because it takes a while for it to be cleaned. To truly clean water, any machine that cleans it immediately is definitely not cleaning it. One thing I've learned about clean water is that it takes time to truly clean, kind of like a lot of things, you know, when you really want to do something right, oftentimes it takes time. So this is me harvesting my clean water. And you guys can ask questions if you want. I'll try to look at the screen periodically, but this is my morning routine, so it's kind of, I got started a little late because I was working actually. But I did do my hydrogen protocol. That's always my staple, which means I drink my hydrogen water empty stomach before I start the videos actually, because in the mornings I like, brush my teeth, stuff like that, the normal things, my normal protocols. Like I said, my protocols are simple because I feel like everybody's overcomplicated health, and some people even spend ridiculous money on health. And I realized it doesn't have to be that way. That's my opinion. Because I tried those methods. My God, I spent a small fortune actually when I was sick, and that was very unfortunate because I wish I would have known that, you know, I wish I would have known that I didn't need a lot of supplements. That's the big one that I think is very misleading. That's my honest personal opinion. Unless they're, it depends on the supplement too, obviously, but I'm not really big on pills. You guys are going to notice that. You're going to notice that I virtually use no pills. And yet, I overcome all nutritional deficiencies, which apparently has shocked doctors. And it's not complicated though. That's the good news. Not complicated, not that expensive. And I'm literally going to do it right now. After I make my clean water, of course. Okay, so before I fire this up though, this is one thing that I do. Thanks for the thumbs up, by the way. The support's always appreciated. Boy, I don't know if you guys can still hear me. Somebody was trying to work call me. You guys are going to have to wait a second. My apologies. I got to take that work call. You can imagine. I try to do the video so that you guys can see my morning routine, but you have to give me a second. I'll keep doing the water routine though while I do my phone call. All right, let me know if you guys can hear me. I apologize for the delay, but I don't, sometimes when I get a phone call through the work thing, I just put minerals on my carbon distiller if you guys want to see which one I have. Doesn't mean this is the one you have to get. The company has cheaper ones and they're all good, but I just fire it up, push the button, and there it goes. That's it. It's just going to start doing its thing on its own. And I store my clean water in some glass jugs like this one and whatnot. Okay, let's get going to breakfast. Well, actually, wait, no, we got something special here today. Let me show you what I got, something special going on today. If I can figure out where to set the camera, because right here, there's nothing here. How am I going to do this? I guess I'm going to have to put it far away. What I have here is koji, and I made that last night. This stuff is amazing. It's so good for you. And Jason says, I got a question. Yeah, go for it. Go ahead and ask your question, and I'm going to be harvesting this koji while you ask, and then I'll try to answer it here in a second. Koji is a like fermented kind of rice, super rich in all these really wonderful enzymes, and it's like a dessert. It tastes really, really sweet, and I think I'm going to make a mess if I do that. I'm going to have to grab something else. And it helps with digestion. So whatever you eat, it's going to just super help you with it'll just break everything down. Like if you eat a big fat steak or something, which will be very hard to digest because it doesn't have any enzymes in it. And then your body will have to release its own store of enzymes, which is honestly not something you want to do too often. But this stuff, I don't know if you guys can see me harvesting because I don't have an angle I can put that camera at over here. Sorry. But basically, I'm just putting it in a jar. And it tastes like, if you guys have ever had something, it's called arroz con leche, which is like rice with like milk and sugar, and they put raisins and cinnamon. This is something they do in Mexico. And here, this stuff is like the more wise way to do it, in my opinion. This one is fermented with koji, and this stuff is just naturally sweet, but man, it breaks everything down. That's why it looks like liquid. In fact, check this out. Look at this. Let me see if I can show you. Because it doesn't look, does this look like rice to you? It's all liquidy, and it's because it literally took the rice and broke it down, and that's why it looks like this. And I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the fridge. That is officially one of my healthier desserts. I have videos on how to make that if you guys ever want to check those out. So Susie Penguin says, I'd love to see more how-to videos of your protocol so we can learn how to do it properly. Just found out you yesterday. Appreciate all you do. Arroz con leche, that's right. Well, basically, I show you every morning. I'm showing you so as far as the drinking of the hydrogen, so the hydrogen protocol, you can watch video 337, but basically what I'm doing is, and remember, I can never emphasize this enough because just like water filters, all hydrogen machines are not created equal. And actually, the disparity in hydrogen machines is much bigger than even water filtration. The majority of hydrogen machines out there, in my honest opinion, is they're terrible. They're really bad. I mean, there's literally machines out there that use chemicals to make hydrogen, like lye, and they use cheap metals from China. And, you know, it's in my opinion, a problem. It's going to be more a problem in the future. I don't think anybody realizes this yet. And I've already known people who've had issues so make sure that you use the right type of device. But you guys watching my channel, you probably already know which one I use, which safety and the best, otherwise what's the point? Just like water filters, some of them can actually end up making the water worse, especially with biofilms. So basically the protocols, you can watch video 337, but I'm basically showing you part of my protocol right now, because what I'm going to do is I already drank my hydrogen water, empty stomach, in the morning. That's always like the staple. You want to drink that hydrogen water first thing in the morning. And you know what? This looks really good, but I got to say, I get to lick the spoon. But I got to say, I think I'm going to need a spatula if I want to get every little bit out of here. Sometimes there's a way that I've been doing. I got to maybe do a video on this too. I figured out how to make koji, make it taste like rum raisin. See, my goal when I was sick, first I was just trying to get better. But what I eventually realized is that I had to change the way that I ate. And there's a lot of foods that I liked. And so what I started doing was literally trying to find healthy alternatives to everything that I liked. And, I got I got pretty creative with some of this stuff. Um, and I did things very unconventional, but it started working. And I was like, you know what, this works. And I'm certainly not a chef, and I'm not even the greatest of cooks by any means at all. But, just found things that worked for me. And yeah, I share some of them with you guys. Sometimes I show some of the dinner ideas. Okay, so that was that. Okay, let's go ahead and rinse some of this off and get started with my morning routine, which is going to be my morning protocol other than first the hydrogen. Like I said, first load up on hydrogen, and then I give it time to go through my stomach. So I at least want to give it 20 to 30 minutes, and then I can eat. Now, the very first thing I like to eat, and this is due to data. So again, I'm a big data guy. So a lot of people may think, oh, you're biased. You think this is better. You think that's better. Nope, no bias here. Everything is literally got to be data. I got to see something that really, and not short-term data, because short-term data can be deceiving. Excuse me, I'm licking all the koji off this thing. I don't want to waste anything. And then I'll move the camera here in a second, because my hands are full. But basically, long-term data is important because, just like anything, think about it. Like fasting. Fasting's amazing, but mostly for the short term. If you go too long-term, it depletes you of too many nutrients, can even be dangerous, blah, blah, blah. So we have to make sure that we know what we're doing for long term. Long term is important, and the rhythm at which you do things. So, can't waste one single drop of koji. This stuff is so good. Naturally sugary, though it is a little sticky. But natural sugar with enzymes, fibers, the body assimilates it very differently. Sometimes people get all critical about sugar, and I gotta tell you, that's how our bodies run, guys. Our bodies run on sugar. Thing is, I'm not into processed sugar. Body assimilates that very, very differently. And we got to watch out for that. But okay, I'm just going to show you my routine. You guys just happen to come along for the ride. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. Jason says, I really want to receive the benefits from hydrogen water. However, at the moment, I am unable to afford the machine that you are. I remember what you were saying about the cheap ones, and I looked. On Amazon, I found two I think be decent, but I was wondering if I could get your opinion on them if I emailed which ones they were. You do have an email that I could send them to. The ones I found that I think are a little higher quality. Just tell me what they are or what they look like, because I'll know. Here's the thing: in the hydrogen world, you're not the first one. What was your name, Jason? Let's see here. Jason, you're not the first one to try to do what you're telling me. And what ends up happening, unfortunately, and I've seen this so many times. Remember, I've been doing this for an extremely long time. I know all the machines out there, and I also know how they make them, and they try to rebrand them, and they try to have different names and all these different things, but it's always the same stuff. What I would say is, if you can't afford to do it right, because doing the cheap ones, you're really not going to be getting like the true therapeutic, amounts of hydrogen, and then you start running the risk of different things that can be leached into the water. I mean, I just did a video with a guy who tried some of the inexpensive units that I would have not recommended, and now he's testing super high levels of heavy metals. It's just not something that I personally recommend. Just like, if you can't do it right, it's okay. There's other things you can do. Like I'm about to show you right now. Okay. The ones I've found, I think it says these ones claim that they use the best metal, unlike the platinum plates that we're talking about from cheap ones. Okay, look, this is what you want to ask them. And I already know because nobody in the industry does it. That's how I already know. Just look if they're using plated metal and see where they're made. I'm going to guess they're probably made in China and they're using plated metal. The plated metal is a platinum metal. Platinum is actually highly toxic to the body. So when it's plated, it's just going to eventually flake off. I've seen people do the same lab tests that are being done with water filtration companies, where they're basically showing you the early stages of the lab test, not the long term. This is what I mean about long term. But anyway, I'm going to start making my breakfast. Purium powder, this is how I get my nutrients, because you're not going to get all your nutrients from your food. It's just not going to happen. Everybody in America is basically deficient. You can try to get it from pills. The body does not assimilate the pills. This right here is just pure food, organic food. And I'm going to add this because if you look at the nutritional content of it, it literally looks like a multivitamin. The only nutrient that really doesn't have very good amounts of is vitamin D, because vitamin D is extremely hard to get from food, and I'm going to show you how I get that in a little while. But right now, this is my morning breakfast, and this is what I do. Now I'm going to add raw cacao organic. I don't always add raw cacao, but if I can find it, and notice the ingredients on everything I use. This, if you look at the ingredients, it just says raw cacao. Everything that I'm putting in here, there's no like weird coloring, preservatives, anything weird. Everything is just food. In fact, start observing every ingredient that I'm going to use in my breakfast. And this is what I do every morning. It takes like 20 minutes. You know, you just got to wake up a little earlier. And why do I do this in the morning? I invented this because obviously hydrogen's the first thing, and that's what really where I start my day. Oh yeah, let's see. Jason says, can I please have your email? Okay, let's see. These ones claim. Okay, thank you, Susie. I already have the Alexa Pure Gravity system, but plan to get the pure water distiller. Yeah, the Alexa Pure, I mean, I like it, but it's not going to be like perfect. And with the condition of the water these days, that would be more like my backup, is basically what I do. What about heating up the hydrogen water like teas or cooking? Okay, so the thing about when you heat up hydrogen, what people don't realize, so that's a good question. So I'm going to answer, this is an important one, even though there's not a ton of people in the room here. So the moment you change the temperature of water, so when you start heating it up, the hydrogen actually escapes even faster. The colder the water, the slower it escapes. So when you heat it up, you're going to lose the hydrogen quite quickly. That would be the first thing. There's some secrets. I guess I can't talk about them too much. And even if I did, yeah, I'm not going to say too much about it. But all I can say is nobody's really figured out how to make hot hydrogen water, because it's hard enough to get the hydrogen in the water and it escapes. Then when you start making it hot, you like almost can't produce it fast enough. And I got some really awesome theories about that. We're getting into a realm where I've had this information for a long time. I just haven't told anybody. But in the future, the reason I can't say anything is because a lot of it is like secret technology that I'm, although I find it, the only way that certain people will disclose the information to me is if I promise not to talk about it. Otherwise, they're just not going to tell me, because then I'm going to go out and tell everybody on my channel and stuff. And the word does get out. In fact, I have a ton of trolls. A lot of so-called hydrogen experts watch my channel to learn stuff. And I have learned that throughout the years, and even steal my protocols. They think I don't know. I definitely do know. I know what they're doing. Even these so-called hydrogen experts that sell the devices, probably like the ones you're looking at, Jason, these people don't even use their own stuff. I have learned some things about these supposed hydrogen experts selling other products that make big profits, but then privately they like to use the stuff that I use. So anyway, that's a whole other story though. I think I don't know, but I do know. You'd be surprised how many people contact me with inside information that really appreciate what I do. Even people working with other companies. It's kind of funny. Okay, so this is the morning smoothie. Why do we want to do this? Because there was a study done in Japan. There's a lot of data coming out about, oh yeah, and somebody asked what kind of greens. I thought I might answer this today. This is baby lettuce and baby greens. I don't know. There's a lot of different types of greens. It doesn't really say, does it? It should say, doesn't it? Come on, it's got to say in here. Okay, we've got green leaf, green oak, Lola Rosa, red leaf, red oak, tango, baby greens, which is arugula, green chard, kale, mizuna, red chard spinach, tatsoi, frizzy, and radicchio. There we go. Those are the greens I'm using. Somebody was asking. And I'm like, they're greens. That's what I use. Okay. Now, here's some secrets. I mean, I am showing you guys already really secrets to health that almost nobody talks about. Soaking hydrogen water. Notice not only that the ingredients I use are just food, the other thing you're going to want to notice is how much water, meaning, is in all these foods. So think about it. I'm about to put a bunch of greens in there. All these things contain water. The reason I wanted to do vegetables first thing in the morning was because of the study that I'm going to share with you guys in a second. But let's see. What about oh yeah, one is called Priority 289. You know what we can do, Jason? I'll tell you what we can do. What we'll do is I'm going to make this smoothie, and just like I do every morning for myself. And then once I make it, I'm going to sit down and drink it, and I'll get on the computer and we'll start looking at the machines you're talking about, and I'll tell you if they look good or not. Because I've only really found 3 good machines. They're all Japanese, but one of them only does water, one only does inhalation, and then the last one's the Hydrofix that does both. Out of all 3, the Hydrofix is actually the best, and one of them is like, I don't remember, $10,000 something. It was so expensive. I'm like, that's stupid. And did it make a very high quality hydrogen? Yes, but they actually did. There was a test where they tested the Hydrofix gas versus that inhalation, and the Hydrofix actually outperformed it. That's how impressive it is. And then it outperformed the other water machine, and it's cheaper than both. So actually, the water machine might be near the same price, actually. So it's about the same price, but it only does water, and the water's not as good either. So the Hydrofix, they really went like above and beyond to try to do what they did. And they sacrificed profits from everything that I learned. They spend so much money on the device. That's why if you notice, companies don't tend to want to carry the product because they're just not enough profit. So the company just carries it themselves. And that's how everybody gets it. That's why you don't see it all over the place. It's all about profits. It's not like they couldn't make a profit, I'm sure, but greedy. You know how that goes. Okay, so it's always the powder first because we know that all these fruits and vegetables that I'm putting in here are going to be deficient. They're going to be deficient in nutrients. They're going to be deficient in minerals, but they still have nutrients in them. They still have the minerals. You want to get most of your minerals from your food, actually. They're organic, of course. I want to avoid pesticides as much as possible. Also wash off anything that might be on them because sometimes there is a little bit of residue of pesticides on even organic foods. I've gone so far as to research even companies that carry, get the food and ship it to all the grocery stores. And, they have a lot of the not organic stuff near the organic stuff. And they said that some of the stuff probably affects the non-organic affects the organic, if there's like a residue and they put boxes on top of each other. So, it's just good to rinse it off. I even saw a study that rinsing and rubbing it with your hands the way that I tend to, you'll see as I keep making this smoothie, helps get a lot of the pesticides off. Okay, so now that we got greens, the reason I want greens is because, like I said, in this research study in Japan, they discovered that if you eat vegetables first thing in the morning, which is, I don't want to say it's impossible. By the way, these are good for your vascular system, anti-cancerous. Organic blueberries. So many health benefits to blueberries. I think we all know that. And just berries in general, but blueberries are like one of the most amazing ones. And I like to they're normally really expensive. I don't think I could afford to do this on the regular, but I found them in these big bags, frozen, organic blueberries. Just makes them nice and easy. And again, water content. And again, what's the ingredients in this? You guys want to see? If you really want to see, no sugar added, it says, of course. Why would you add sugar to blueberries? Look at this, ingredients. Organic blueberries. That's it. It's just food, guys. Somehow nature knew what it was doing. I guess nature is our friend. Okay, next one. Soaked raisins. They're soaked in hydrogen water. It enhances them. You got to be careful, though, what kind of hydrogen, believe it or not, because some of the hydrogen is just made incorrectly, directly electrolyzing, or even when you manipulate pH, you don't actually want to do that with food because then it messes up with your GI system. Remember, no medical advice, no medical claims here. But that was actually from a long-term study in Japan. They discovered that alkalinizing the water has a negative effect on the body in the long term, like things like, you know, in my opinion, like the Kangen machines and these water ionizers. And for short term, though, they showed benefits. And the reason they showed benefits is because those machines were inadvertently making hydrogen by accident. Originally, they weren't saying that it was because of hydrogen. Originally, they said it's because of the alkalinity of the water, but that was a lie or a mistake. You know, they probably just mistake. They didn't know. But it turns out, and now I'm putting walnuts. Walnuts are also highly anti-cancerous. Remember, they're dried. What am I doing? I soak them in hydrogen water again. If you don't have hydrogen water, just do clean water. It's okay. If you have hydrogen water, hey, enhance your stuff, you know, if you can. Walnuts have been shown to be anti-cancerous. Of course, lots of great protein, good healthy oils, and again, just food. That's all I'm doing, guys, just food. Nothing spectacular here. Now, one thing that I do, and I don't mean to waste anybody's time, but what I am going to do is I'm going to soak the raisins right now again for tomorrow. Because if I don't do it now, then sometimes I forget and I get busy, as you guys already saw phone calls trying to come in, and they tend to try to come in, well, about all day long. So I'm going to do my raisins, and I'm going to do the walnuts too. And raisins have natural, the reason I started doing the raisins, you don't have to. I mean, it gives it a nice sweet flavor. They are dried, which is, again, why I want to soak them. But they have a natural boron. Boron is good for muscles, ligaments, bones, brain health, but also for something that a lot of people are looking for these days. Personally, I think it's the water and too much sugar content, but it's also good for the libido and what they call sex hormones. I've been doing some experiments on that on some people that I know, and they are reporting good results. They are really, really liking it. They do notice the difference, and I did a whole video about that if you want to watch that. And it's kind of a surprise. I didn't actually think that it would work, to be quite honest with you guys. I thought, no way, how can just this silly little mineral help with, you know, hormones? People usually want to do hormone stuff like, oh, I'm going to take testosterone, and I'm going to take, you know, this pill or that injection or this injection or whatever. And in the end, it's all about the blood, guys. I'm telling you, it's all about how the blood moves. And hydrogen, you should see how it moves your blood. In fact, I'm going to pour hydrogen water in this right now. You can do clean water. I like to do it as I go, because if you don't do it as you go, then the blender won't blend real well. You're going to learn one thing about these videos. You're going to come back to them. I've had people do this. Like, I tried to make the smoothie and it won't blend. And then they realize the order in which I'm putting everything. And right now I'm putting some clean, you can either do clean water or you can do hydrogen water. You know, whatever you have at your disposal. Okay, let's go with that. And actually, I need to fill this up anyway. So I like to do multiple things at once if I can, if that is a possibility. In the mornings, if you're noticing my routine, how I do like the water, right now I did the koji. Right now, that one that I'm filling up right now, that is just reverse osmosis water. That is just something that I use, just depending. I just use it for different things. I always like to have it full. But okay, so and I actually use RO that I run through my carbon distiller to fully purify it, because I know it's not fully purified. Okay, so what are the next ingredients? Let's go. Look at that. We got some good stuff in here. Yummy. All right, we're going to put some strange things in here. This one is hydrogen chia seeds. Again, you can just do them in water. You can do them in hydrogen if you want to enhance them. Second one is H2 USB Max. They claim that they use the best DuPont PEM membrane. Yeah. I've heard such things, but it doesn't even matter. Even if they did have the best membrane, I'll see how they're making the hydrogen. It really depends on the design. And, you know, like I said, with all honesty, if you can't do it right as far as hydrogen is concerned, there's other things that you can kind of do in different ways. Like if you just can't do the cleanest water, well, then you do the best you can. I guess you get the best water filter you can, you know. The thing is that distilling is not that expensive, you know. Somebody was giving me crap for having these things in plastic bags. That's hilarious. I'm sorry, but I appreciate the feedback, but I don't sweat the small stuff. I tend to go after the big stuff these days. I used to sweat the small stuff. Oh my gosh, like you don't even know. I tried to be so perfect when I was extremely sick, and it literally drove me nuts. And I'm like, nope, I can't do this anymore. It literally took 8 hours. It took my whole day. I couldn't even work. We got a lot of magic ingredients here today. We're going to go through some of this. Just want to make sure I have everything that I'm looking for. And then we can start making this smoothie. Somehow I feel like I'm forgetting something, but okay, let's go ahead and move forward here. This is, does this seem weird to people? And you can be honest with me. People have told me, even my friends, they don't make fun of me, but they say like, man, you're still making the smoothies? Really? All these years? They're like, how do you keep up with that? I'm like, it takes 20 minutes. I just wake up a little earlier or I plan my whole day around making these. So this one's ginger. Again, more food, it's organic. But ginger has also been shown in certain studies to be anti-cancerous. There's a protocol in Japan that they're actually using it for an anti-cancer protocol. Again, no medical claims here. I'm just telling you what I'm reading. And it heats up core body temperature. A lot of people are not aware that the Japanese made a huge discovery about cancer, which probably not many people are listening to, but they discovered that there's a correlation between core body temperature and cancer. Almost every single person who has cancer, their core body temperature is lower than it should be. Parasites seem to be involved. Core body temperature seems to be a factor, and we know that ginger helps with that. And ginger has a lot of magical properties, in my opinion. Somebody was asking me, I think I made a comment like that on one of my videos, and somebody was like, "What magic?" Like, what do you mean? What? And I don't think people sometimes realize. It's kind of funny. Look, I get it because I'm speaking from a place where I understand because I've been there before. Sometimes we don't realize the amount of magic that's around us, guys. Nature is just our human body is kind of literally like magical. I mean, when I say magic, it's so advanced that it looks like, I don't know if you, I mean, think about it. Even humans still don't understand the human body. I mean, there's so much that we still don't understand about it, how it clearly works. I mean, I took a very different approach to health. I mean, I did work in the medical field for like 2 decades or so, maybe more, but something like that. I understand what they're thinking. I understand how they see the body. I took a different approach because, I mean, I saw the amount of people coming in they were just sick all the time with different issues that are fixable. Like, I mean, I could give you so many examples. I mean, I could tell you one right now, somebody that I know who had gone to so many doctors, so much money, so much suffering, years of this, never had their issue resolved. Talk about surgery. And you know what her issue was, guys? I mean, really, you want to know what her issue was? She had issues with her GI system. She had, IBS, the whole irritable bowel syndrome, constipation, all this issues. What people don't realize is for her, I got her on the hydrogen water and these smoothies, totally fixed it. She was shocked. She's like, this is nuts. How is this possible? By the way, this is going to be some turmeric. We're going to put some turmeric in here. I guess I'll take two because they're kind of small. And the reason it's not complicated is because, to me, the human body is already, it's like a masterpiece. It's like a really well-engineered car. You just have to know the right type of oil, how much oil, how to take care of it, things like this. It's all about understanding what nature intended for this body to really run on, how it really should be working. And a lot of people disagree on that. I mean, really, people disagree on all sorts of stuff. Well, let me tell you something. I can tell you one study. There was a study done on fiber. Blew my flippin' mind, I gotta tell you. Absolutely blew my mind because I didn't realize how much fiber the human body really needs. It's unbelievable, guys. Even the researcher said, you know what? This is just not possible. We can't tell people that this is the amount of fiber their bodies need because this is just too ridiculous. Nobody's going to achieve it. So they took the absolute most smallest minimum number that they could come up with. And they said, well, this is the recommended amount. That's what the government tells us, by the way. This is the recommended amount of fiber that one should have. And that number is actually based on the minimum that you should get. And when we say minimum, we're talking like just the minimum to be, semi-healthy, right? So here's the deal. They released that number. Here's a statistic for you. Less than 3%, less than 3% of Americans. Now think about that for a second. Less than 3%, that's a very small number, guys. Okay, less than 3% of Americans consume the minimum amount of fiber required by the body. So who's getting the actual amounts that are really needed? By the way, this is the next magic ingredient. This stuff is straight up magic. Made in Japan, natto. This stuff is so filled with protein. People always ask me about protein. Believe me, I'm getting enough protein. This is so much protein. This is actually ridiculous because, and the thing is, this is the interesting thing. You read the ingredients, some of them look like crap. It's this thing. I don't put this in here. This is the raw material. I do not put this crap in there. This is just mustard, but I'm not going to put mustard in it. So the mustard I save, I use it sometimes for other little things. But it's that other little sugary packet that just, it ruins this whole thing. But the raw material, all it is a fermented bean, guys. It's called natto. It has nice enzymes in there called like nattokinase, however you want to pronounce it. It also is filled with fiber, more fiber. You're going to notice a pattern here. Lots of fiber, okay? Lots of minerals, lots of nutrients, lots of live foods, lots of water in the foods. But there's no way we could consume something like this. So I invented this smoothie, and to be quite honest with you guys, I'm actually surprised how good it works. And it feels so good. And everybody that I eventually gets on it, even my my own family, once they start it, I got everybody on smoothies because you feel so good. Okay, this is how you activate it, by the way. You got to activate it. Okay, let's see here. Jeff says, I ordered my Hydrofix Premium. I'm on catchment system in Maui. Filters through 2 paper and carbon filter polish with ultraviolet light. I then distill it. Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't know if you have to go through that much, but okay. Looking forward to 2 hydrogen therapy. Jeff, sounds like you already got the good water. By the way, this is how you activate it. The science shows you want to stir it at least 100 times. And that's what we're going to do. If somebody wants a count, let me know when I hit 100. And you have to activate it if you really want to get the most out of it. It has, like I said, live bacteria in here, the enzymes, and they really start oxygenating and breathing and coming to life. And you can see it starts foaming up as you do this. But Jeff, you are about to be in for a treat because you already have, sounds like, really clean water. Everything that you're putting that water through is not totally, I gotta say, I don't know what system you're using, but it doesn't make sense to run ultraviolet through the water and then distill it. The reason I say it doesn't make sense is because the whole point of ultraviolet is to kill certain pathogens in the water, but distilling does all that. So it's almost like, let me think, what's a good example? It's almost like, I don't know. It's like doing something more than once that you don't have to do. But that's cool. You're clearly have good, but let me tell you one thing, you at least have clean water. That's for sure. If you're running through ultraviolet light and all the filters and then you're distilling it, dude, you probably got some very, very clean water. So good for you. Once you get the hydrogen in it, that's going to change things. You should see the blood analysis here. Check this out. It's so cool. By the way, see how it's all foaming up? That should be enough. Check out my video number 68. What you're going to see in that video, that was a lab test that a doctor contacted me actually about when they saw that video. And they literally said, what you're showing is basically not possible. I think you're lying to people. I was like, no, that's the real deal, dude. And they were like, no. How did you do the test? And then they started asking all the questions. And that's when they were like, wait a second, weren't you in the lab when it was done? I said, no, I wasn't in the lab. That was a Japanese lab. That was a test done in Japan. And then they were like, well, then how do you not being lied to? And I was like, well, I don't know if you know that, when you meet, the Japanese culture is very different. I was like, I mean, it doesn't mean that there's no liars in Japan. But I was kind of like, I think I got a pretty good source on this. And this doctor was like, no, I think you're being lied to. If I prove it to you that you're lying to everybody, are you willing to make a video and retract what you said? I said, of course. Of course, if I'm giving bad information, Definitely want to know. So this doctor went as far as buying the machine, finding out exactly how they did this lab test for the live blood analysis. She then got back to me and she said, and I honestly was like 99% certain that it was probably all good. She got back to me. She said, I can't believe it. She said the results are exactly the same. She said it really does work. She became a huge hydrogen proponent of hydrogen, and she literally couldn't believe it. To this day, I don't think anybody knows why it does what it does. I actually do think I know why, but I haven't said anything because I got tired of all my ideas being stolen, and then somebody else taking credit for them. So I haven't really said anything publicly. But I've known for years why it does what it does. But what it does is it shows. So if you drink super clean water, which in this test they did, so this is for you, Jeff. So there's a banana, organic. Let's go with the beets now. Give me a beet. Ooh, look at this one. This one's pretty. And yes, it's in a plastic bag. Does that mean it's leaching into my food? I honestly would be more concerned about pesticides than a plastic bag. But just my own opinion. So here's the deal, guys. You drink that clean water. You watch video 68. And let's cut this guy up. You watch video 68, they drink the clean water, and the blood, it makes the blood move. So it really does move. It really gets the blood moving. Let me tell you something. Hydration is extremely important for the body to function properly, hence the reason I'm into really clean water. If I didn't have access to hydrogen, that one guy, I can't remember your name, Jason, I think, the guy who's asking about all these hydrogen machines, I'd be more focused on your clean water before I would get into the hydrogen. And it did move the blood. Didn't move it a ton. It wasn't super impressive, but it did. There was clearly an effect. Then they specifically used the Hydrofix. So they weren't using one of the cheap machines because, again, could you get some hydrogen like that? Yeah, you could. The problem is byproducts. And I'm going to use some of these leaves just for the heck of it. And the long-term effects of those byproducts, hence the heavy metals. I did a video on that, a guy who got tested after using these cheap products for I think 6 months. And boy, did he test high. But anyway, China, I'm sure that they have their best of intentions for us, right? To make us good, healthy hydrogen products. You might want to think about that one. Anywho, so, but I love a lot of the people though, I gotta say. I actually have friends that are Chinese and I absolutely love them. They're great friends of mine. And yes, very much so. Of course, I've also had friends that are Korean and Japanese and Vietnamese and a lot of different friends throughout the years. And I love people. I love good people. That's what I like. It's always the countries and the governments and the greed that really always kind of get in the way, and then everybody starts hating each other, and it's just too bad. Anywho, so then when they did the Hydrofix water on this particular, it was a woman who did the test on her live blood analysis. Unbelievable. The blood just started flowing like a river, like a really powerful river. And that, your blood movement is very, very important, guys. Blood doesn't move right, you got problems. Like if you get a blockage, if it's not flowing properly. So it's very important that it moves, but then it does more than that. The hydrogen begins to open up what they call ghost vessels. And these are areas in the body where you just don't get blood anymore. As you age, there's a couple of things that happen, and I can explain why, but I'm not going to, because again, nobody's proven it, and I'm pretty sure I'm right, and I just have to hold back. Sorry about that, guys. But I can tell you that as you age, you have these areas where these vessels where blood used to get into when you were younger. And as you age, they become like ghost towns. There is no blood in there. And remember, and this is like an ancient scriptural verse. This has nothing to do with religion, though, but just so you know, it literally says things like life is in the blood. That's an ancient verse. You know what? It's true. Because if you don't get blood somewhere, like think about it. If you put a rubber band around your arm and you stop getting blood to your arm's going to die. Can't have life without the blood, guys. And the blood needs to be moving. So you really need good movement. And this is why if you put too many fatty things in your blood, Like this is when I was getting my blood drawn. It was really quite amazing. I was getting my blood drawn because I get it checked regularly to make sure that what I'm doing is working. See, a lot of people get on me, if you can believe it. There's a lot of trolls. You can call them trolls. Maybe you know what? Maybe they're really nice people with good intentions actually, but they're trying to tell me that I should change the way that I'm doing things. Like, oh, you shouldn't be eating all those vegetables. You should be having steak for breakfast and steak for lunch and steak for dinner. Like you should be a carnivore. And it's like, it's cool. You can do whatever you want with your body. And I have tried the carnivore thing when I was sick, and it did not work. In fact, yeah, it doesn't work, especially for long term. You should see what it does to the kidneys on long term research. But that's fine. I don't mind when people do their own thing. It doesn't bother me. I don't care. I'm gonna do my thing, and if people want to know what I've done and clearly what's worked, not just for me, but I've seen it work for other people. That's why I'm so impressed by this. But again, that's why you go off data. You got to read really good long term data. And observing the Japanese, because they live so long, man, do they eat a lot of vegetables. Like I said, I'm going to try to go to Japan here in the near future if I can save enough and get away from work and all that good stuff. I'm going to share with you guys a lot of little secrets. Let me tell you something about Japan. Japan has been a very secretive society for a long time. And the truth is that even now, in 2020 something, there's so much that the world just doesn't know about them. And they're so fascinating. And I really love these people because there's things that they value that are really above money. And you don't see that very often. People value, and I get it. I understand that people have to value money. I understand money is important. But there's just some very beautiful things about their culture and the way they do things. And a lot of it makes sense. And that's always why I like them, because since I was little, I used to always think things like, why do we do this? Why do we do that? And like somebody made a really interesting example. Somebody was living I won't name their name. They're probably watching right now, actually. And they have an animal. Their animal goes out to the dirty streets, runs around, and then walks right into their house. See, in Japan, I don't know if you know this, when an animal's outside, if there's going to be an indoor dog or something, they actually will clean their feet before they enter the house. This is why they also take their shoes off. It has to do with cleanliness. Japanese are really big on cleanliness. And let me tell you something about cleanliness. It has a lot to do with health. This is why we clean our water. This is why I want clean fruits and vegetables with no pesticides. This is why when I put these type of foods, they're good to keeping my blood clean. And like I said, I've done the blood test, and that was one of the funny comments of one of the people there who'd been seeing a lot of blood. They started noticing that mine was different, and they commented about it. They said, your blood is not like sticky and thick, when it cools down like other people's blood. And that's because I don't have all these crazy fats that build up in your arterial walls and all this plaque, and then the blood can't get through, and then you have a stroke or a heart attack. And I mean, we have very tiny little blood vessels, guys. You've got to make sure to keep everything super clean. A lot of fiber, a lot of hydration. This is super important. You won't be getting like the high blood pressures. You won't be getting the high cholesterol, But I have seen hydrogen do a lot of magical stuff in regards to that. A lot, actually. My father was actually one of the best examples. But yes, I have seen that a lot. Carrots. It's funny. Somebody was asking me. People write questions like, "Hey, so what's all the things that you put in your smoothie? Like, what's the recipe?" And I'm thinking, I'm literally walking through it. You can see every single ingredient as I go. I got so many videos. I don't understand. Like, am I supposed to, and even if I were to write you an email saying, well, it's got carrots and celery and beets and greens and blueberries and chia seeds and raisins and walnuts. If I were to write everything out, somebody would probably look at that and be like, how are you fitting all that in the blender? Like you have to see the video. Got to see how I do it. And this is what I do every morning, whether the camera's on or off. To be honest, to get ready with the camera and everything, like to set up the tripod and whatever, is it a little more time consuming? Yeah, it's a little more time consuming. But I do it because, well, people have asked. And people have asked and said, hey, I really want to see your routine. I want to see you doing it so I can kind of have an idea of how it's done. And like, okay, so I started turning on the camera in the mornings. I mean, you can probably hear from my voice, I'm still a little groggy. I just kind of woke up. I have my hydrogen. I'm not a huge morning person. It's a little rainy outside, blah, blah, blah. you know. And then I started working. In fact, I had a good laugh this morning because one of my work buddies called me or texted me and he said, "Hey, are you awake?" And today I'm usually really busy. And this morning I had a little bit of time to sleep in and I just texted him back and I said, "No." Are you awake? No. Of course, he started sending some laughing emojis. And then I ended up getting on the phone with him and doing some consulting, helping him out. Okay. So I think we're pretty good here, guys. I don't think we can fit any more in here. But what I will tell you is, I think I'm going to. How can we fit any more? Anybody figure this one out? What else am I going to put in here? Well, if we can't fit anything, let's put something a little magical. I'm sure you guys know what it is. Let's put a little bit more hydrogen water. And actually, what else can I fit in there? I'm going to show you guys some stuff right now. I'm going to show you some magic ingredients I'm about to put in this sucker. Magic ingredients, here they come. But see, to me, these are all magic. All these fruits and vegetables, the way they affect the human body, if you look at the studies, it's just remarkable. Hydrogen chia seeds, more protein, more minerals, and lots of fiber. You seen a pattern yet? Minerals, fibers, enzymes, phytonutrients, proteins. Guys, magic. Well, magic for the body. The body loves it. It's like we don't need some super special pill that does God knows what, you know. That's what I mean is like we don't need, you know, we just need to learn how to grow good food. That's what we got to do. But here comes the magic ingredient number one. Minerals. Why minerals? When you combine them with the fiber from fruits and vegetables, what I've learned, and actually I was already doing it. I was doing it before I learned this, but I'm always reading new data. And what I found out is they did a study where you combine the minerals with fiber, but they didn't expect the results. The results, the people were rebuilding their bone because that's how you absorb the minerals is with fiber. You're not going to absorb, there's so many things you're not going to absorb without fiber. It's just the way it is, guys. You need fiber, lots and lots and lots of fiber. Okay, I'm going to blend this up. It's going to make a lot of noise. I'm going to go grab some jars and then dump this compost. So just be patient. I'll be right back. There we go. Drink that up, huh? Now that is a multivitamin smoothie. Top it up. It's not in the dance. Nothing dances around. I hope it doesn't dance off the counter. Oh, so wet out here. You know, it's so beautiful yesterday. Now it's like water everywhere. Okay, periodically I like to stop the blender because everything will settle down to the bottom and start getting chopped up. And I'm going to get some jars with more magic ingredients. No jars here. Okay, grab some jars. And then I'm going to grab these magic ingredients that are coming up. I don't know if they'll surprise you, but I found them to work extremely well like this. I'm going to cut these jars with a little bit of hydrogen water. So you're about to see, I'll show you. And if that blender's dancing around, it's because it's chopping stuff up. The blades are running into stuff. And that's one way that you'll know it's not totally blended. Then I can also hear it. I can hear how it sounds different. There we go. Okay, it's getting better. Let's grab the last magic ingredients. Now, these truly are magical, so I'm going to show you why in a second. We'll finish up this one. So remember, no pills. You're going to notice this pattern. I'm not taking any pills. Everything was a powder, which is basically food, and these liquids, which are minerals. This might be one of the most important parts, but I don't know. I think every process is important, just like every part of your body is important, right? The heart, the lungs, the liver. How can you say that one is more important than the other? Ooh, look how full that is. So you guys surprised that the blender blended? Are you surprised it didn't break? Because everybody else's breaks. This is American Power, muscle car, Tesla, blender. I'm just kidding. They don't make blenders. Okay, so I only go halfway. Why halfway? Well, let's taste this. Ooh, yes, that is a good one today. If you wanted a little sweeter, it could hold another banana, but the truth is I'm good with it. I like it. Okay, number one most important ingredient. It's best to get this from food. It's always number one. The problem is you're never going to get enough from food. And when I say never, I'm willing to bet that it'd be very hard to not only get it from food, but the foods that do have this particular nutrient are highly contaminated nowadays. Boy, I am talking so much, my throat is getting dry. All right, give me a second, guys. You're not going to be able to get this from food. This is one of the most important things you have to get in your nutrients. D3, K2. It's paired with K2, even though I got tons of stuff with vitamin K because it helps absorb the D3. The food that has it, a lot of heavy metals in it. So I've known people try to get it from their food. They end up with a ton of heavy metals in their body. So I don't do that. So I just put this. Now the second best form, because first one's food, notice it says ionic. Ionic, in my opinion, is the second best way to get it. Now this one is pretty magical. This is the one that's increasing people's libido, sex hormones, ligaments, muscles, bones. This one, it is ionic boron. Now, boron's another hard one to get from your food. Not as hard as D3 though. When we have the raisins, you can get it from like prunes, and there's a few things out there, but you're not gonna eat a ton of raisins or prunes. It'll probably give you diarrhea, right? So I'm just gonna add some of this. I've been messing around with it, and I gotta say, I'm really, really liking it. I'm spiking somebody's drink here with boron, spiking it with minerals. Healthy, tasty, good for you, minerals. You're welcome. All right, this one I actually never bought, but I will say, this one was sent to me by this company, chlorophyll. And you know what? I like it. I'm really digging it. Now, granted, this is stuff that you would get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is stuff that you would get from your greens. But man, and this stuff is so green. You can see how it's staining everything. I gotta say, I really like it. Will I buy it again? I try to, I want to be the healthiest possible with the most minimum amount of stuff. So would I probably buy? I think I get enough greens. If I was rich or if I wanted to get optimal health, sure, why not? But for the most part, I probably won't buy it. But who knows? Maybe I'll change my mind later. I've really been enjoying it though. I gotta say, really enjoy that product. Did not expect it. And this is why we go halfway, so that way I can pour the other half and it all kind of mixes in there. Okay, this one, put it away for later. That can be lunch. Some people ask me, is that all you do for breakfast and lunch? You know what? I'll tell you, my body, I feel like it's become so efficient. I can literally just, I have smoothies for breakfast and lunch, and then dinner I always have a good, solid, healthy meal. Sometimes I have cheat days, but not too often. Next magic ingredient, hemp hearts. This thing in itself is like a multivitamin. You should see the nutrient content on these. It's unbelievable. Of course, organic. And again, look, let's look at the ingredients again. I know I'm beating the dead horse here, but look, organic hemp seed. That's it. No color number 40. No high corn fructose corn syrup. No, nothing. It's just food, guys. Just food. And by the way, for those people who was telling me I don't get enough protein, there's so many ingredients here with protein, and this one is actually one of the best proteins known to man. The most well-balanced omegas in the world. See? Omegas 3s and 6s, guys, that were super well-balanced. This stuff has all sorts of protein. So does the natto. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, I'm getting more than enough. In fact, that was one of the comments the doctor said when they looked at my blood. They're like, my God, how are you doing this without eating meat? They just couldn't figure it out. They have the lady, the reason she called me apparently too was because her daughter had issues and they couldn't get her nutrients up to what I'm getting mine up to. I'm like, just drink clean water with hydrogen and then make a smoothie like this, and that's it. Seriously, guys, for people who don't want to get like all crazy with their health, just drink clean hydrogen water. That's so easy, by the way. Make a smoothie like this for breakfast, and that's it. Live your normal day. Live your life, you know. Now, could you do better? Yes, but that's going to be better than what you're probably doing. So, that's quite tasty. Okay, I got one more magic ingredient. and then we can sit down and answer your questions, because I'm going to guess you guys have some, or read your comments. Oh, wow. That is either good or I'm really hungry, but I think it's a little bit of both. Actually, not that hungry. My stomach's not hurting or anything weird, but here's the last magic ingredient, the hydrogen. So I found out and discovered that if I do the hydrogen, and this is my heat pack, by the way. If I do my hydrogen while I'm drinking my smoothie, I'm basically enhancing things even more. Let's read your comments, and I'm going to take out this earpiece. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Comment below if you can hear me. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay, let's see here. All right. Read your comments here. Oh, what was I going to look up? Oh, that's right. Jeff, are you still here? Let's find out if you're still here before we do research on your hydrogen machines that you had questions about. Okay. Very tasty. Yeah, everybody's claiming they're making the best metal now because of all the talk that I've been talking about. Otherwise, they would have never mentioned it, guys. But, you know, that's marketing. I've even had companies admitting to me that they basically lie on their marketing and mislead people, companies from other, people from other hydrogen companies, because they contact me, they always want me to promote their stuff. And I won't do it because it's crap, in my opinion. Okay, let's see. Let's go with, I don't even know if Jason's still here, but okay, just for later. Priority 289, let's see. Priority 289. I am not making any claims for or against any product or products. I am simply giving you my personal opinion, but I'm not sure if he's still in here. Priority 289. He said on Amazon, right? That'll answer your questions, guys. Sorry. I'm trying to be nice to this guy. Priority 289. And I don't see anything that says that. Priority 289. And that, I do not see it. Where are you? Yum, 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 yum. I don't see it. Let's see, one more thing. Oh, those are crap. Sorry, if that's the one that you're talking about, I think I see it. Definitely not. Okay. Let's see. Well, I don't see him in here anymore, so if he wants to talk more about it, we'll look it up. Susie Penguin says, oh, sure, he said that. Oh yeah, my email. Jason, my email is uprising144k@gmail.com. Okay. H2 USB Max. Oh, I think I know that one. Let's just do it for him if he watches later. H2 USB Max. I feel like hopefully we're not wasting everybody's time here. Same thing, one of these guys. No thanks. I wouldn't use one of these at all. These are the ones that concern me, actually. That's actually what the guy was using that had the, anyway. Oh. I would do other things if you're trying to do it for health. If you're just trying to do it for fun, that's different. And then maybe you just don't care, I don't know. We'll get into that later. Jeff, you're gonna have awesome water. Jason, let's see, Elrich Lieberman, vegan pure blood. If you want to call it vegan. Civil war is coming though. I'd focus on our defenses. Yeah, that's the reason being in really good health is important and strong in all your nutrients. Elrich said instead of traveling to Asia. Well, brother, I could go into the details, but there's a reason I must go. And it has a lot to do with work that I started when I was, I don't know, 7, 8 years old. It's hard to explain. I guess I could go into it someday, but I tend to be kind of quiet about it because, to be honest, I don't think anybody will understand. So why would I talk about things that nobody's gonna understand? It just turns everybody away. Okay, Jason Jones says, I filter my water. I use a 0 water pitcher. However, I might have to have a treat for you. Since you're into water, I would love to get your opinion on a product I use. Well, the 0 water filter, my friend, is again, definitely not the best. I mean, it's okay. It's gonna do some things. Watch my most recent water video. I explain those porous systems and the risk of biofilms. They don't remove everything. Can't go cheap when it goes to health sometimes. I mean, you can use that. It's better than using nothing. But yeah, I think I would focus on the clean water first. But yeah, I can, you know. Jeff says, thanks for the info. Water is the most important substance we use. Unfortunately, tap water is poisonous. I would agree. Jason Jones says, it's called the Analemma Architect of Life, the incredible power of water unleashed. It is a device that structures your water and energizes it. They have products for your whole house, including your shower sink. Okay, here we go again. Let's try that one. By the way, Analemma Architect of Life. Okay, let's see what it comes up with. Yeah, there we go. Well, I will tell you already, no, but before I say anything, let me make sure that before I speak, I gotta see exactly what it is, and they are, yeah. I'll just say I'm not, no, not only am I not that convinced, no, not for me. Don't need it, just need clean water and hydrogen. Don't even need it. That's just another product I don't need. I try to go really, really basic. But thanks for sharing. How do you spell koji? Hey, you just did. Somebody helped you too. AI evolution, love you. Oh, that's nice. How do you know? Do you know me well enough to love me? Nah, I appreciate it. Susie Penguin. I think in 1978, the Village People wrote a song about macho man, natto man. Don't you want to be the natto man? That's funny. Probably am. Roger that. Hydrofix is on order. Would you mind confirming that when your hydrogen bag is empty, you then mail it back for an exchange? Budokai. I don't really understand what you're talking about. When your hydrogen bag is empty. A little confused about this one. I don't understand your comment, Budokai. I don't think that you would. So if it is what I think you're saying, you get the hydrogen bag, which I have it over there, I can't reach it. When it's empty, you don't mail it anywhere. You refill it with water. It's like a water bottle. Nope, there is no exchanging hydrogen bags. No idea what you're talking about. I'd have to go look at their website. I mean, I can look, but I can go there again. This is hilarious. Let's see this. Okay, I don't see anything like that. Maybe you can answer me this question. Why would you mail back water pouches that you purchased to have what? I don't get it actually. So I don't know. We'll get into that. Bought natto yesterday, says Howie, in a tiny Japanese store. There you go, in Salt Lake City, Utah. That's my guess. Super inexpensive. That's right. Ooh, about $2 for a 3-pack. That's right, buddy. I buy a whole case of this stuff. Good for you, Howie. Hope you enjoy it. The store owner said natto is pretty much non-GMO. That's right. And organic because they don't allow crap in Japan. That is correct. Probably the reason they live so long. So would you recommend any brand or type of natto? Nah. Grab whatever you like. If you can find organic ones, even better. If they're made in Japan, even better. What is the smacking noise? No idea, brother. It's probably my lips. It's probably me drinking the smoothie. Elric Lieberman says, 2 quick questions. Do you filter your entire house? No. I am loathing bathing in tap water. Gotcha. Any suggestions? And second, would like to buy something decent for my apartment. RO suggestions. Okay. Elric, do you even watch my videos? I'm starting to wonder because I just released a video yesterday where I actually show the differences between RO, carbon filters, and carbon distillers. If you're gonna buy something, I would personally, well, what I use, look, right here. What am I using? Carbon distiller. My RO system is just kind of like, it's a backup. You know, I just kind of have it in there just to use it for other little things. I mean, I have every water filtration system, basically, carbon filters too. But no, I don't have a whole house water filtration system. This is not my house. I think a lot of people have confused that. I just rent a very small room in this house. I don't own literally almost anything. I own very few things. I really do live, I mean, I don't get too much into my personal life, but I try to have the minimum amount of stuff. I don't like having a lot of things. And so, I mean, some people even make fun because, I mean, people are like, how about your clothes? Look at those holes. Why don't you get some new stuff? You know, and it's like, look, sorry, I mean, I don't know. I don't know why. I'm just gonna do me, okay? That's all I can say. I'm a silly guy, I know. What can I say? I'm just so focused on my health, not my clothes. So, no, this house does not have a full water filtration system. It'd be great, but they're really just carbon filters anyway for the most part. Yeah, okay. I don't know if that answers your question or not, but if you're in an apartment, I just get a carbon distiller. Look, countertop, just like that. You set it on your counter, it can purify anything. As far as bathing, I've done that in the past, but what I used to do is I would have a tub and I literally filled it up with carbon distilled water. And I would add different minerals and salts and stuff, but it ended up being too difficult, too expensive. I did that when I was really sick, trying to help my body heal too. And yeah. Way too hard. What I do is I actually will use a sauna, get a good sweat, and then just take a very fast shower. That's what I do. Okay, Budokai on the Holy Hydrogen website, the talk about exchanging the hydrogen bags. The talk. I would maybe email them or call them because I don't know. I really don't know what you're talking about. Quansack says, good afternoon. Would still like your opinion on Rhonda Patrick's smoothie recipe. Reminds me of yours. Well, Quansack, should we do that in front of everybody right now? Rhonda Patrick smoothie ingredients. And I have a hard time believing that, I mean, I'm just going to say, I'm going to have a very hard time believing that hers is like mine. But you know what? She's got kale, banana, apple, tomato. Ugh, I would not put tomato in there. Blueberries, flax seeds, carrots, spinach. Yeah, pretty good stuff, right? She doesn't use any hydrogen. She doesn't probably soak her stuff, her seeds in water, especially hydrogen water. She uses some of the similar stuff, yes. She doesn't use the Purium powder like I do. She uses collagen powder. That's not what I would use. I almost made a video about it. I did a bunch of research on that stuff. I can see why she would do that, but that's not what I would do. You know what? I'll tell you one thing. I know Rhonda Patrick, and I'll tell you, I'd be happy to test my blood next to hers. Sees whose looks better. And by the way, I'm not saying that in an arrogant way. It's all about seeing what actually works. That's the whole point of blood work, to see if what you're doing is working. I tried, and I'm open to changing, and but I'm going with what works. Okay, Budokai says, oh, okay, thank you for the clarity. I was a little confused based on what I read on their website. Exactly my point. Jason's still here. Okay, Jason, I haven't watched enough. I will look for more videos. There you go. That's why they're there. They're all free, guys. Excuse me, Jason. Brand Pure. Oh, there you are. Okay, Jason, I found the USB H2 Sport Max. In my opinion, I personally think that that is an absolutely terrible device. I would never use it. I can't even believe that they put an inhalation thing on it, because you should not be inhaling directly electrolyzed water. It's complete, in my personal opinion, foolishness. It's just silly. No. I see what you're looking at. I would not be using those. If you want to, go for it, brother, but I'm way too worried about, I know how they're using the metals that they use, the plated metal technology that they use. You don't want plated metals. That's what I've learned, and all the hydrogen companies are doing that for the most part. Okay, Elric says, Ehrlich, I don't know, Ehrlich, Mr. Lieberman. And yes, I remember you saying carbon distillation from months ago. It just finally ready to buy. Okay, cool. Solomon Bonilla says, hi Greg, I'm a little late, but happy to watch another top label real informative video. We the ones on the cutting edge of appreciate you. Happy day, Solomon. Wow, Solomon, isn't that like a really amazing name, like King Solomon? Jason Jones, I have a product you might be interested in. Cutting edge, relatively new on the market. Oh yeah, I already looked at the Analemma Architect of Life. I can already say that I am not a fan, and I would not buy it. And I don't think it's even necessary. I already, do you realize, I don't know if you guys realize this yet, the things that I've been able to achieve with my health and numerous other people with very minimal products, why would you want to add more to it? You know, why would you, and you know, if you did everything out there that everybody says is good for health, man, you'd have a whole room full of stuff. It's about clean water, clean hydrogen, overcoming nutritional deficiencies, killing some parasites, maybe some exercise. That's it. You know, organic foods, stay away from pesticides, eliminate some of the stuff that maybe does harm to you, you know. Jeff says, are you going to drink that whole smoothie? Why, you want some? Of course I'm gonna drink it all, dude, every day. Sometimes there's leftovers. Like yesterday, I had some leftover for dessert. I don't know what it is. When I had dinner, I was like, I still felt like I wanted something, and I love my smoothies. They taste really good. Test Everything, I like the name. Test Everything 123 says, I'm following along and making one. Missing some ingredients, so I'm improvising. There you go, adding chlorophyll. That's what you do, you improvise when you don't have everything. It's all good. Oh, you know what? I did mess this up a little bit. Inhaling the hydrogen while I'm doing my breakfast smoothie. Okay, there we go, that's a better angle for me. I like Test Everything. That's what I had to do. I literally had to test everything. It was exhausting, a lot of work. That's why I started making the video, so that you guys wouldn't have to do it. And what else? I mean, I've tested everything and other things too, not just health, but I won't go into those things. It's part of the reason I have to go to Japan. Okay, Elric says, book recommendation, Molecules of Emotion by Masaru Emoto. You'll love his books on water memory. Oh, really? You think so? You really think that I would like Masaru Emoto's books? You sure? Yeah, I know his stuff. It's good. Good information, but yeah, it's great. I love Masaru Emoto, Japanese guy. I know the knowledge quite well. In fact, he was missing a few things. If he was still alive, I would have shared some secret information that I discovered that I don't think almost anybody in the world knows. But I have a lot of that information. I just want it to be in the right people's hands. I can't just give it away anymore and get it in the wrong people's hands, and people misuse the information. Solomon says, in Guatemala, we also love arroz con leche. Man, I know, but it's not good for you. I'll stick with the koji. It's good for you, and it tastes good. Like intention? Bigger than that, Mr. Ehrlich. But yes, intention's good, but remember, intention's good, but intention's, in my opinion, not going to take all the chemicals out of your water. One of these days I'll have to be on like, not only a very big show that's willing to talk for like 3 hours. I got so much information. I'll release it on a large platform. I won't do it on small ones, because once it's on a large one, everybody will know where it came from. As long as people know the source of it, that's what's important, you know, in my opinion. And then after that, people can run with it. Anybody knows Joe Rogan? I'd love to get on Joe Rogan. I think he'd like to know about hydrogen personally. Okay, I found some good quality collagen 1 through 4, says PY. Is it okay to us along with your protocols, or are you saying something in particular about collagen itself? Thanks for what you do. No, there's just certain products. Let me see if I think I already deleted it, because I was going to do a video on this. Let me see, I'm looking to see if I still have it up. Yeah, I think I already deleted it. So basically, the product that I saw in regards to collagen had just all sorts of stuff from animals. And I'm not saying that I'm against animal stuff, but I tend to stay away from it. I certainly wouldn't use it as a supplement daily, that's for sure. So I don't know, it depends on the ingredients, PY. But nothing particular about collagen. By the way, hydrogen has been shown to be good for collagen. So this is another thing about hydrogen. It's good for so many things. It's like, why, like, minimize everything that you need? Because I don't even trust a lot of the companies, even health companies, what they put in certain products. That's why I'm very peculiar about what I choose. Okay, Howie, can you let us know once you share the secret information? Yeah, I'll let you guys know. But I'm telling you, you guys will probably know. If it ends up on a very big platform, you'll know. But yeah, I can let you know. Yeah. Okay, Ilrlik says, true. Dying to hear. I'm huge into his stuff, as well as mind control. Well, okay, maybe I'll share with you guys one of the secrets. Okay, you guys want to know one of the secrets? I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Or maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. I'm debating. Let me go grab some more smoothie while I debate, and maybe I'll share the secret with you guys. Oh, yeah. Quite good, isn't it? Parts? So good. Parts are so full of nutrients, it's borderline addictive. So I harvested the koji that's in the fridge. Just in case, I'll see. There's one of these. Oh, who's this mess? Okay, let's see here. Here comes the magic, guys. Just remember, you heard it here first. Because you know what happens when you put things out there. Everybody wants to steal your ideas, and I already know this is going to get stolen. Oh, well. Should I just allow it? I guess I'll allow it. Okay, please share, says Howie. All right, so I'll tell you. The secrets. The hidden messages in water. All right, guys, so here's a secret, in my opinion. Now, it'd probably take some science to prove this, but a lot of the stuff that I figure out has to do with just the way you think about things. And I have a knack for figuring things out. So, what exactly do you think the water's reacting to, right? You say good words, you say bad words. What exactly is the water? Now, you could say the water's reacting, so like, for example, you say the words, the frequencies, the thoughts, the intentions, the emotions, all these different things, right? Okay. People are like, oh, it's the water reacting. I don't think it's the water reacting the way you think it is. It's the hydrogen within the water that's reacting. That's the part that Masaru, in my opinion, missed. But why? Now, because see, it actually makes perfect sense. Because some people may be like, oh, that's a stretch. You're going a little too far with that one, hydrogen, man. Well, let me explain why. It's really quite simple. Water is made of H2O. So these two are actually gases. You have hydrogen, you have oxygen, okay? And they're both gases. Together, they make water. All right, fantastic. So we got that cleared up. But when you separate them and you have hydrogen and oxygen, do you know what they each do once separated? I'll show you. Oxygen drops to the ground. Hydrogen ascends. They literally go completely opposite directions. In fact, oxygen is oxidizing. It's an oxidant. Hydrogen is an antioxidant. Okay? This is actually part of the whole secret. There's huge secrets that I haven't really revealed to you guys. This even has to do with the tree of life from the Bible, of good and evil, life and death, light and darkness. It's all the same stuff, positive and negative. Hydrogen and oxygen are that's the bond that they have, is that one is death, one is life. Okay, now, so why is it that the water's reacting to the hydrogen? I'll explain. Because death doesn't react. So I'll give you an example. If there's a dead horse and you start yelling at it, blowing whistles and dancing all around, it ain't gonna move. It's sit there, it's dead. Now, if the horse is alive and you start blowing whistles and yelling and flashing lights, you're gonna freak the horse out. Life reacts to life. Death doesn't react at all. So, oxygen is actually the death molecule. That's the reason that when you separate it, it drops to the ground, just like a dead person. It's oxidizing. That's death, just like metal. If metal oxidizes, it turns to dust. Hydrogen is the life molecule. That's the reason it brings so much life to the body. That's the reason it's so good for health, because the more life in you, the more health there's gonna be. And they even call it active hydrogen because it's like this. It literally vibrates. It's so full of energy. That's why they even use it for explosive things, which is no good. But it's got so much flippin' energy. It's ridiculous, which is why it's so good for us, so good for the energy of our cells, blah, 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 blah. So, life reacts to life. Death doesn't react at all. So what is it in water that's actually reacting to? The sounds, the intentions, everything else. It's the hydrogen. So what happens when you fill up your water with hydrogen, like what I'm doing right here, or the hydrogen gas that I'm inhaling? In my opinion, it's very possible that now we have created water that is even more reactive to our intentions. So think of a place called Lourdes, France in France. People drink that water to go get healed. We know now that that water's full of hydrogen. That's, I think, one of the reasons they named this device that I like Lourdes, just like Lourdes, France. If people go there and they're like, oh, God and the Mother Mary, and I'm going to get healed, they're bringing even more power to the water, guys. And it's got all that hydrogen. Food has a lot of it too, by the way. That's why when food is going bad, it's actually the hydrogen leaving, and then the food gets spoiled. I have a ton of information like this. This is just one little secret that I decided to share with you guys. And let's see here. L. Ehrlich says, interesting. Howie says, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, cool. Thanks for sharing a huge missing puzzle piece for me. Thank you. So you're welcome. So that's one of the secrets. But there's bigger ones. Way, 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 way bigger ones. But isn't this cute? Do you notice, did you know this is from monks praying to water? Doesn't it look like a little monk sitting in the center here? Like sitting in a little meditative position with a little light over his head. I mean, this is really cool stuff. I'm glad that Masaru did this. I just wish he were alive, because I think, again, Japanese guys, They think out of the box in some very strange ways, but that makes sense. I kind of do the same thing. That's probably why I feel like an affinity to them. But I wish he was alive because I would have loved to share this information with him, but it's a little late for that. So there it is. Had a second book suggestion above. You'll love this too. Swear. All right, Ehrlich. Now what? I'm going to say goodbye, though, here very soon. I got to get rolling. My heat pack. It's nice and warm. Chilly this morning. All right, so if you guys have no more questions, "10 comments up." That's the name of the book. By the way, you'll probably be surprised to hear this. I used to read a lot. These days, not so much. I end up getting more information from my meditations than I do from any book. If anything, I keep being told I should write so many of them, but I never will. Okay, 10 comments up. Let's look at this book. I don't see it. Let's see here. The Invisible Rainbow. Actually, I have information about that too. But nothing that anybody would, the invisible, I don't think anybody would understand actually, unfortunately, or very few people would. But okay, The Invisible Rainbow. There it is. Okay, well, all right. The History of Electricity and Life. Very cool. I like thunder. 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 Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Any last questions before I say goodbye? This was a long morning breakfast. Those are my favorite greens, Solomon. Those are my favorite greens. There you go, buddy. Good for you, Solomon. You keep taking care of yourself, man. I want to see you get better. Well, you already actually are getting some improvement. We did a testimonial video from you. And keep it up. Ski Coacher says, well, I totally appreciate all the research. The fact you've walked the walk and helped others to do the same speaks loud and clear about your integrity. Thank you for your compassion and others. Wow, thank you, Ski Coacher. That is very nice of you. I really appreciate that. Howie wants to know where I live. Why, you want to stalk me, Howie? Where do you live, dude? Send me your address. What's your social security number? And your date of birth, if you don't mind. I've already had identity theft so many times. My gosh. We live on a state, never in. What state do you live on or live in? All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you soon from Japan. I'm gonna really share some big secrets when I get there. And if you guys, honestly, if you guys have anybody who has big platforms, I will release more of the secrets. I can only do those on larger platforms for a reason. I've learned that the hard way. I'm on Pacific Standard Time, Howie. Yeah, it's, what time is it? It's like 12:20 or something right now. No big deal, dude. I was just kidding anyway. Language is everything. Peace, brother. Have a good time and stay free. Well, as of right now, my understanding is we have to buy our freedom. But hey, hi, do your thing. I'm a free-range slave. That's what I am. That's okay, right? No, not with me really, but hey. At least so far they can't enslave my mind just yet, so that's kind of nice. My mind is still free, even though my body isn't. But hey, my mind is. I got some really big secrets for you guys. I really do want to unleash one of these days. So many of them popping in my head right now because we brought up this whole subject. And thank you for everything you do. Well, thank you. Very kind of you guys. All right, guys. Stay free, stay happy, stay healthy. And I'll see you guys next time on the next one. Here, let's say goodbye with the dribbling of clean water. How's that? Look at that. Dribbling clean water. Bye-bye.